no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Mitchell Renz here from the Raiders Report. Coming up here on today's show, I got 6 trending Raiders rumors that I want to talk about, and I've seen them from Stephen A. Smith, Colin Cowherd, all over the internet. And the reason why I started the show is to keep you guys up to date on news and rumors, but it was also to be able to give you guys my personal opinion on some rumors. Now, when I talk about rumors, I a lot of times talk about Chucky heads, and since we've had about 5,000 new subscribers in the last 72 hours, here's what Chucky heads mean. If I see a rumor and I give it 0 Chucky heads, it means it's not going to happen, and I say, tuck rule, tuck that. If it's 1 Chucky head, it means I believe it's a 25% chance of happening. 2 Chucky heads means I believe it's a 50-50 shot. 3 Chucky heads is pretty likely, and if I give something 4 Chucky heads, it means that I absolutely 100% agree with it. So the first story coming up here on today's show, Derek Carr and the Raiders are legit contenders in the NFL. This one, every single one of y'all say it with me. 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. You have to say that this team is a legit contender. And when I say contender, I'm talking about the ultimate prize, and you know what I'm talking about. So Colin Cowherd today said that the Raiders, they need to be started to get more respect because they are legit. Stephen A. Smith said that football overall is a lot more better and entertaining when the Raiders are good, and he said that the Raiders right now are in his top 5. Max Kellerman, Carr is the top quarterback in the AFC. A lot of times the media shits on the Raiders, but it took them 3 weeks to come away with 3 quality wins over teams with 10-plus wins the year before that, and my answer is it's about damn time. But when you really look at some of these numbers here, right? The fact that the Raiders were able to come away with some clutch wins is pretty impressive. You beat the Baltimore Ravens 33-27. You beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-17. You beat the Dolphins 31-28. I had a few drinks when I was making this graphic. Get over it. But then you also got to look at what they've been doing on offense. I mean, the offense is clicking. You want to talk about clicking on all cylinders. Total yards per game, first. Passing yards per game, first. Rushing, well, we haven't had our main running back and the offensive line's been bad, 25th. Points per game, 30th. You can still get better, though. That's very important here. What about defense? I love not seeing numbers in the 30s. I don't know about you. Total yards per game, 14th best in the league. Passing yards per game allowed, 13th best in the league. Rushing yards per game allowed, 22nd. And then points per game allowed, 15th. We got a top 15 defense, and the Raiders are 3-0, which is why Derek Carr is starting to get mentioned in the MVP conversation, and it's about damn time. Right now, here are my top 5 MVP power rankings. This is why the Raiders are legit. They're elite on offense, they're good on defense, and they got the number 1 guy right now for the MVP, Derek Carr. If you disagree with me, yell at me, find me on Instagram, because I'm going to tell you you're wrong. So are the Raiders legit Super Bowl contenders? Because when I hear legit, I think of Super Bowl. And if I would have been asked this question at the beginning of the year, I'd have been like, man, I love the silver and black. I love this team. But to be a Super Bowl caliber team is pushing it a little bit. This is absolutely a Super Bowl caliber team. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you my why for yes. The other reason why I'm going to say that, you're 3-0 against 3 very solid teams, and you have yet to play your best football. Plus, good teams find a way to win. All right, let's get to the next story here. It's around the Raiders, and are they a top 5 team in the NFL? Again, it's 4 Chucky heads. It's believe it, baby. I've seen a lot of NFL power rankings from ESPN, Chat Sports, Yahoo, Bleacher Report, and I'm just going to tell you all right now, if anybody out there sees the Raiders outside of the top 5, send it to me on Instagram, send it to me on Twitter. I'm going to try to do my absolute best to roast these people. So the Raiders, they were ranked number 5 in ESPN's power rankings. That's good. Chat Sports also had them at number 5. Guess what? I had the Raiders ranked at number 2. Now, some of my colleagues are like, I would have put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over them, which, sure, I can understand that argument. I had the Rams at number 1. But the only reason why I'm still going to put the Raiders at 2, they're finding ways to win games up against very quality teams, and it's just hard for me to be able to put a team that just lost by double-digit points over the Las Vegas Raiders. And you can't sit here and tell me that the Raiders haven't played tough teams, because guess what? They have. And on top of that, they've dealt with a lot of injuries. So, yes, the Raiders to me are top 5. I had them at number 2. So, when I looked at the Chat Sports Raiders rankings, the number that you're going to see on the left, which for me is number 2, is where I had them ranked this week. And then last week, LW is where I had them ranked last week. So, 4. So, Tom, he had them at 5 last week, bumps him up to 3. Chase Sr. had him at 9. We roasted him, put him at number 3. Harrison Graham, he's a Chiefs guy, so he was like, all right, the Raiders won. I'm going to drop him down to 6, but I'm still going to put the Chiefs in the top 10. What a joke that is. And then Sammy Brown has him at 8. And that last week had him at 11. So realistically, the only two people that I want you guys to go ahead and yell at on Twitter is H. Graham NFL, and I want you to especially go yell at Sam Brown CS on Twitter. Here's their Twitter handles. Go tell them how much of a joke that the Raiders are, or rankings are around the Raiders. Do it for me. I would appreciate it. So those were all of our rankings. But guess what? You guys know what I'm going to ask you. Show's not about me. Show's not about Sam Slappy Brown. It's about the nation. So where would you guys rank the Raiders in your power rankings? From 1 all the way down to 32. If I see anything outside 5, I'm going to come looking for you. That's all I got to say. Now, if you want to bet on the Raiders to win the AFC West, to win the Super Bowl, to win this upcoming matchup up against the Los Angeles Chargers, there's one place to do it and one place only. That's at BetUS. How do you get the hookup that I'm about to say? You got to go to chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders125 gets you 125% deposit bonus. I could say this thing in my sleep. Why? It's such a good deal. You're not going to find a better deal out there. Chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders125. Here's my question. Who do you guys got this week? LV for the Raiders or LAC for the Los Angeles Chargers? I guarantee you, all y'all are going to go ahead and type the Raiders. So when I tell you that right now on BetUS, the Raiders are 3.5-point underdogs, then that should make every single person want to go to chatsports.com/Raiders and use the promo code Raiders125. I'm just sitting here telling you, it's an amazing deal. Take the Raiders to go to 4-0, Monday Night Football, and a home game. I know it's at SoFi, but let's be real. It's going to be a home game for the Silver and Black. Let's go to the next story here on the Raiders Report. Do the Raiders have the best receiving core in the National Football League? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads, and I'm going to say people are talking. I would love to be able to give it 4, right? Maybe if we had Devontae Adams. I'm kind of kidding. But 2 Chucky heads, so I'm going to give this one a 50-50 chance. Now, the reason why this has been a conversation is because the Raiders are the first team in NFL history with 4 players over 200-plus receiving yards in the first 3 games. They did that against 3 teams that had 10-plus wins last season. Now, the only reason why I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best receiving core in the NFL is because you got to give credit to Carr. The reason why Edwards, Renfro, Ruggs, Waller are putting up the numbers that they are is because Derek's playing out of his mind, but Carr also knows this system like the back of my hand. And the fact that he's being able to do that, it's going to bolster some of these numbers here. But I'm not trying to take away from Ruggs, who's got 11 grabs for 237 yards and a touchdown. Waller's got 20 grabs, 224 yards and a touchdown. Bryan Edwards, 10 catches, 210 yards. Hunter Renfrow, 16 for 204. Right now, Derek Carr leads the NFL in deep pass attempts. A deep pass attempt is anything over 20 yards. He's the only guy in the National Football League right now with over 20 attempts. So what happened to Dink and Dunk Carr? Guess what? Good offense. That's what happened. So who's going to have the most receiving yards for Las Vegas in 2021? If it's nobody on screen, just comment their name below, but I imagine most people watch right now are going to comment one of these 4 players. If you believe it's going to be Ruggs, I want you to type 11. He currently leads the team. If you believe it's Darren Waller, I want you to type 83. He's second. Bryan Edwards, type 89. And then Hunter Renfrow, go ahead and type 13. I love what Ruggs is doing. I love, and I mean absolutely love what I've seen from guys like Hunter Renfrow and Bryan Edwards. But I mean, guys, my money is still on Darren Waller. He's one of the best tight ends in the league. Teams are doing everything that they can to take him away, which is why you're seeing some of these other players get the production that they are. But if my life was on the line, and if this heartbeat was on the line, I would bet on Darren Waller to lead this team in receiving yards. All right, let's go to the next story here on the Raiders Report. Are the odds makers disrespecting Maxx Crosby? Hell yeah, they are. There's another 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. You know why they're disrespecting my man Mad Max? Is because he is one of the best in the biz right now. You can't take that away from him. And I saw odds from Bovada, and he's not even in the top 11 for defensive MVP odds. Max right now is the 5th highest graded player according to PFF with a 91.2 overall grade, and he leads the NFL with 25 pressures. A lot of times people only look at sacks, and I get it. Sacks is the number. I'm not saying it's an overrated stat, but people also need to look at pressures. Why? Because a lot of times if a player's getting a lot of pressures, that's going to start converting to sacks. And if you want to talk about impressive numbers, only one other player in the NFL has more than 20 sacks. It's Maxx Crosby, and I only remember, I think it's Chandler Jones has 20. Yeah, pressures, excuse me. Crosby has 25 pressures. Jones, I believe, has 20 pressures, and then nobody else has got over 20. Put some respect on my guy's name. So here are the latest Defensive Player of the Year odds. I'm not going to get mad at Donald Myles Garrett, Chandler Jones, like these are all incredible players, and you can just cycle through these quickly. But for you to not have Maxx Crosby in the top 11, I'm sorry, that's disrespectful to me because he's been by far a top 11 player, and it's really as simple as that. So a lot of times people are like, oh, it's because of the shield. Maybe, I mean, if that's the only argument that you can give me why Crosby isn't in this discussion. And it's also why I said in his rookie season why he should have won Rookie of the Year. Because the numbers he put up as a rookie, 10 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, only guys that won Rookie of the Year put up those type of numbers. And guess what? He didn't end up winning it. But, I mean, look at these guys. He got 9 tackles, 2 sacks, 12 quarterback hits, 25 pressures. If you don't know how impressive 12 quarterback hits is in your first 3 games, as a rookie, Crosby had 14 quarterback hits. As a sophomore, he had 13. He already has 12. This guy is playing absolutely out of his mind. I understand why. His nickname is Mad Max. Now, the only number that really needs to go up for him to be in this discussion a little bit more is sacks. Why? Because that's just the way the NFL is, right? So how many sacks is Maxx Crosby going to finish the year with? He had 2 in week 1, and it was the greatest game that I've ever seen Maxx Crosby play, and I get it. He had 4 sacks up against the Bengals as a rookie, but that was up against Ryan Finley. Breaking news, Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback and harder to sack than Ryan Finley in that Bengals team. So it was his greatest game. But let me know down in the comments, how many sacks for Crosby this entire season? Now, if you haven't already, again, y'all hit me up on Instagram. Slide into those DMs. Let me know what you're thinking about today's show. Let me know what you're thinking about this Raiders team in general. I do my best to answer as many questions as humanly possible. Updating my Instagram story to keep you guys up to date, and I've been doing a lot more IG Live, so go ahead, check it out. All right, let's go to the next story here. It's KJ Wright. Is he injured? I had a lot of people being like, dude, is KJ injured? Why isn't he on the field? I'm going to give it 2 Chucky heads because I'm just going to sit here and tell you, as I am filming this on Tuesday, I don't 100% know. Because the only thing that I can come up with is for him to only play 9 snaps against the Miami Dolphins, that tells me that he's not 100% healthy. Because I know he knows the defense. I know he's an elite player. But the fact that his snap numbers have been declining is worrisome to me. And I understand that there is a rumor out there that he's hurt, and that's why he's not playing. But what if it's just like he's a bad fit or he's out of shape from not playing or not practicing the entire week? I mean, guys, look at these snap numbers here. He played in 54% of the snaps week 1 up against the Baltimore Ravens. In week 2, he played in 22 snaps, which was 39%. And then week 3 up against Miami, it was only 9 snaps, 11%. And so for the entire season, he's 1 short of having a real nice snap count. Overall grade, according to PFF, is a 68.1. His run defense grade is 69, and his coverage grade is 62.9. Now, has Denzel Perriman played good against stopping the run? Sure, he's been a tackling machine, yes, but Perriman's been an absolute liability in coverage. Corey Littleton has also been a little bit of a liability in coverage. So, like, if those guys were playing out of their mind, I could understand it. But it does sound like right now the Raiders are very pleased with Perriman and Corey Littleton's play. So what do y'all think here? Should KJ get more snaps? 1 for yes and for no. What's the way I'm going to say this? If you're not 100% sure whether or not he's healthy or not, which I'm not, and you don't want to put a vote in, I guess I understand that. But this question is predicated on KJ Wright being 100% healthy. If he's 100% healthy, I'm going to sit here and say, yes, he deserves some more snaps. The last story coming up here on our Raiders Rumors Roundup is around Damon Arnette, and is he the most likely player on the Raiders to get traded? I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads, and I'm going to say that it's pretty likely. The reason why I'm talking about this is because, for those of you that don't know this, I work at a company called Chat Sports, which makes the Raiders Report, and I was asked, hey, who's the most likely player that could be dealt on this Raiders squad? I gave the name Damon Arnette. So the reason why we're talking about this, the NFL trade deadline is November 2nd. You're going to start seeing players pop up on some trade rumors, I can guarantee you. The fact that he's played in only 38 snaps this year and the 2020 first-round pick, number 19 overall, he's been a bad fit on the team. He's been a bad locker room guy. He's doing stupid stuff on social media in the offseason. And I mean, we just got to have to face it. He's not very good on the field. So maybe for him, it kind of reminds me a lot of Garyon Conley. You just move on from him. There's going to be a team out there that has cornerback need that would probably give you at least a 5th-round pick for him. Because honestly, it's probably all you're going to get. 5th-round pick at the absolute best. All right, so here are the other players that when I thought about who are the most likely to get traded, here was my top 5 list. I had Damon Arnette at 1, Cleveland Ferrell at number 2 for obvious reasons there. Malcolm Kuntz at 3. I get that we just drafted him, but the Raiders and Mike Mack have shown if it's a bad fit, the fact that he was a healthy scratch this past week, that they're not afraid to move on from somebody. Lynn Bowden Jr., a.k.a. Brandon Parker, wasn't drafted with Mayock, so again, it could be something that they can move on from. And then Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski's a really good linebacker. He's just not a good fit in this Gus Bradley system. So maybe another team out there that needs an LB could give us something for Kwiatkowski. Though, I mean, that's my dude right there, and that one would kill me.